Well, hello all my beautiful friends out there in YouTube land. All right, you guys, I'm back out here in the garden again today, and we are gonna have a fantastic day. Why, you say? Because any day in the garden is better than a day at work. I'm just kidding, I had to work today too. But now I'm back from work and it's time to get our hands dirty. As you remember, a couple days ago, I was out here weeding this garden that you see behind me. It was totally covered and infested with all kinds of weeds. You couldn't even see my wood chips. But now you can kind of see them. I also told you the other day that we hadn't had rain in like 3 weeks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, since I since I did the things in that video that posted yesterday, it has rained non-stop for the last 2 days. The ground is soggy, everything's wet and muddy, and it's just it's just wet and nasty out here. But that is okay, because it's probably going to make it that much easier for me to do what I need to do out here today. I want to get seeds in the ground, and I am happy with them going into nice wet soil. But before I do that, I do need to get a few more of these weeds out of here. You see, I didn't get them all. They are still plenty of them down there. And I really just want to get this area as good and as weed-free as possible, because those weeds are going to try to come back. And as they do, it's going to be that much easier to keep them picked and at bay. But before we do all that, I got a few things I want to show you and update you on. If you remember back in my 30 Random Facts About Me video, is that what it was? Was it 30 Random Facts? No. If you remember back in that video I was tagged in to do about the 3 YouTube channels that inspire you, and then the other questions were the things that you were good at, things that excite you. If you remember back when I did that video, while I was making that video, I was out here in the backyard digging up wild blackberry bushes, and I put them in those pots. Now, I have had these blackberry bushes over here, and I had forgotten about them. And and they had gotten covered over with weeds, and I had forgotten all about them. And I rediscovered them the other day when I was out here weeding. And bam, there they are, and they are still alive. Look, still alive. That's a weed. Still alive. And this one is doing really good. So it looks like we're going to have some really good blackberry bushes come spring. Another quick update, my fig tree. As you can see, the leaves have all fallen off of this thing. You know, I don't know if it's just the time of year, or if this is some kind of, well, it just came off in my hand. Is this some kind of mold or disease? Or is it just going dormant because it's fall? I don't know. But this thing has had figs on it all season long, and they just never really did anything. I don't know if it was how wet we were. Was it too wet? Was the plant stressed because of so much rain and water all year? I don't know. But the figs, you can see, I mean, it's still putting out some brand new figs up there, right? And then the other figs, these are the same figs that have been on this tree all year long. Look how they're tiny and they're still green, but some of them are starting to ripen finally. So I don't know, we'll keep an eye on those and see how it goes. Y'all remember that little plum tree that was out here when the season started? Look at her now. She's a good 7.5 feet tall, filling out very nicely. Now that tree's 2 years old. I don't know how old a plum tree has to be before it can start supporting fruit, but I really feel like it's getting thick and full enough to support fruit, if it is so inclined to put fruit on itself on its 3rd season. Here's the kumquats, you guys. They are starting to get ripe. This tree's looking great. Now this tree, the kumquats are starting to get ripe on it, but we've got some work to do, because the hurricane, remember this? Yeah, the hurricane pushed that over. So we're going to have to do some work on this kumquat tree right here. Get this bad boy standing up straight, get it staked up, and get it packed up around the roots and see if we can't keep that from getting damaged. You guys want to see what my pumpkin vines are doing? Okay, so... Alright, so check this out. This is crazy. I planted pumpkins like over there. See the big dead spot over there? Like, I planted my pumpkin plants over there at the beginning of the season when the Whistle Thicket channel started this whole pumpkin challenge. And if you remember they started growing out that way. They grew over this way up into the sweet potatoes. They grew around the outside of this kumquat and up here and into this part of the bed. I mean, they've gone all over, right? And then they got attacked by those caterpillars. And then they started dying off. You know, as the pumpkin vine grows out, it also sends down vertical tubes and roots and shoots to pull moisture. So the old section of the vines have all died off, and these newer sections just keep growing and keep sending out new stuff. Now, no part of the vine has been alive long enough to grow me a pumpkin. I've had a few start, but none of them actually made it. But we still have a piece of pumpkin vine here, and we have this piece of pumpkin vine here. The good news is whatever was eating on these things is not gone, but has slowed down. And I've got fresh new baby flowers coming off of these vines, so there is a chance that they could get fertilized and we could still get some pumpkins. But it is already the 2nd of October today, I believe it is, and I know I'm not gonna get a full-grown pumpkin ready for the competition by October 31st. But I still might get me a pumpkin out of my garden sometime this year that I get to feed to my family. That's awesome. Here's the pepper plants that we got growing inside of our sweet potato patch here. So we got in here around these pepper plants and we got them all cleaned up and we harvested the peppers that were on them. We took most of those to my friends at work because I already have several bags in the freezer. I don't need any more jalapeno peppers in my freezer. They're still putting out new growth. And I fully expect to keep getting peppers off these things at least until January, because that's how long it takes us to get any freezing temperatures around here. Oh, you guys, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. You cannot beat the feeling you get when you are growing your own food, fresh, healthy, organic food, feeding it to your family, watching your family grow up and be as healthy as they possibly can, knowing that it partially came from the work of your hands and the sweat of your brow, and sometimes the blood from your fingers. So once again, I am excited to be out here in the midst of my God's wonderful creation, soaking this day up. It is not very hot at all. It might be less than 80 degrees, I don't know for sure, but it is nice out here. The breeze is blowing and we're about to get busy. But before we get busy, I gotta go check up on the sweet potato permaculture experiment because I haven't been out here for so long because it's been underwater, kind of. Look, this is high tide. So at high tide, we still have water coming up in our backyard. This is crazy. We've got this big nor'easter off the coast just pushing the water inland. It's just piling up in the rivers and it's just overflowing the banks all up and down every single river. And it's just crazy. We've seen this before. It's nothing brand new to us. It's just frustrating. Okay, this is about as close as I can get without getting my feet wet right now. So I'm going to zoom in from here and I'll show you what we got. Alright, so here you go. This is what we got. You guys, I still see that some of the sweet potatoes are still alive. They are still alive, but they do look stressed. But they're growing. They are longer than they were before. Oh, got a lot of weeds growing there. And I think I see, and there's another sweet potato over there. So that is awesome. I am so excited, so stoked for those sweet potatoes. You see what I'm talking about back there now? But before I even started that whole thing, I was telling you guys how it gets covered in water and that river's brackish, so there's some salt in it. And you know, well, just nothing really does well when it gets drowned in a couple inches of water a couple times a year. So I really hope those sweet potatoes take off. I really hope they create an excellent ground cover for that area back there. To help start building the soil and holding on and maintaining the topsoil. And yeah, I definitely probably need to get some more dirt back there. Alright, you guys, hang tight. We're about to get to work, and we're going to hopefully, by the grace of God, get some seeds in the ground and get some more food in our bellies. What I'm doing is I'm pulling back the top layer of wood chips because most of the weeds are in that top layer. And then I'm sifting out the weeds and the roots, and I'm getting them out of here. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I thought Back Eden Gardens didn't grow weeds. Well, you're the funny guy. Yes, you are. You are funny, huh? But seriously, I believe that has more to do with the climate that you live in. Here in Florida, we're subtropical. We grow almost all year round. We're super wet all year round most of the time. And weeds are going to grow, even in your Back Eden garden. But I will tell you this, it does slow down the progress of the weeds. It does limit the amount of weeds that grow in here, and it's mostly just this viney dollar weed and not a lot of grassy weeds that are sending a lot of roots deep down. There's a few of those, and those are a little harder to get out, but for the most part I can just run my fingers through this I can just run my fingers through the wood chips and get these vines out super easy. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed the garden bed. Let me show you what it looks like before, and now I'll give you an after. Well, you guys, it is hard to believe that this used to be my beautiful brown wood chip garden. That's a lot of weeds, but you know what? They're still in there. I just got to get these weeds out of here. And now this is after. We are almost weed free. We got our top layer of wood chips spread back out nice and even. Now it's time to put some rows in and put some seeds in the ground. Let's go. Well, you guys, you can see these rows behind me are coming along. It is getting dark. I'm not going to be able to film much longer, but I am going to keep working a little bit longer and get some seeds in the ground. I probably won't get them all in because I think I'm going to focus on getting these 2 rows that I've got dug planted before I dig any more rows. Get something in the ground today because depending on my overtime schedule over the next couple of days, I don't know when I'm gonna get back out here. It might be 2 or 3 days before I get out here again. So that being said, I'm gonna wrap this up, you guys. Look how beautiful that soil is. It's so black and rich, and if I took you over there right now, we could find many worms very easily. But anyways, guys, that's gonna be it from the Hewitt Homestead today. Again, I am so glad that you joined me. I am honored by your presence here with us on the Hewitt Homestead. You're awesome, and we love you. Guys, remember your Father in heaven loves you, and He's got a specific plan for you because He made you just the way you are. You're special. He wants you to know Him. So, guys, don't waste any more time. Get to know your Father in heaven, okay? We love you here at the Homestead. We're so glad you're here. Please click the like button, click the subscribe button if you haven't, and hit the little bell so you get notified when we put out new videos, all right? And if the good Lord is willing, we're going to see you guys again really, really soon. Bye-bye.